All right. Hopefully we're live here. This is kind of a surprise live stream. Didn't announce this one. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started because it's not really about doing a question and answer or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get covered what I need to get covered. For people that want to join in, that's fine. But found out something interesting here. This is not too far from where our office is, the town of Island Falls. And was writing back and forth with another guy here in Maine and on comments of his video. And he told me about that Theodore Roosevelt actually stayed in Island Falls or the Island Falls area, which was pretty interesting because I was a fan of Theodore Roosevelt back years ago. And Theodore Roosevelt would go and he would read his King James Bible at this place called Bible Point. And you can see it right down here. I'll zoom down into here. That's the Mattawamkeag River right there, you can see, and this is Bible Point. There's a road that kind of goes back to it up in here and things, but it's a pretty long walk back into it, apparently, from what I'm hearing. About a mile or so back in. So I will be doing a upcoming video on this thing of Bible Point. I think that's really fascinating. There's a bunch of historic stuff there. It's a historic site. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing that there's actually a place called Bible Point. So I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, topic number 2, the whole baby formula thing. There's all this shortage of baby formula and people are panicking and, oh, what do we do? And all these mothers saying, we need to have baby formula. And we just can't, some of us can't breastfeed and all this other stuff. I want to say some things about that because I've studied that extensively. And I'm actually a product of experimentation, I guess you could say, in the thing of bottle feeding versus breastfeeding. So I'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But I keep hearing disinformation about this thing of, this baby formula shortage and how it's just a terrible thing, and oh, what are we going to do? So having said that, just to start out, there are ways that you can make homemade baby formula. And of course, the medical goonies will come out and they'll say, oh, this is so terrible, it's unsafe, it's just bad. What they won't tell you is that the baby formula itself is bad. You look into Similac. I think Similac is one of the more popular brands of baby formula. It's dry powder and you mix it up with water and whatever else and you heat it up and you put it in the bottle and you drip it on your wrist and whatever, like they do. But Similac is, I think, 90% sugar or something crazy. And I mean, you can see right here, Caro syrup baby formula recipe. Caro syrup is basically corn syrup. And so, this thing of, the best way to help your baby is to give them, some kind of a milk type of thing and lots of sugar, because then they'll really be anxious to drink it. Well, you're setting your child up for a lifetime of failure when you do that. It's terrible. And, I will be saying this later on. If you have done formula, you can still do breastfeeding later on. We'll get into that here as we continue, because that's what my own mother did. But interesting thing here, I had seen her. This is the Healthy Home Economist. She has a channel on YouTube. Her name's Sarah Pope. She's with the Weston A. Price Foundation and learned a lot of things from her. She's got some really good information. Don't agree on everything, of course, but it was interesting because I saw this. I tried to find the video on YouTube of her recipe for healthy baby formula, and it's not on YouTube anymore. And I clicked on this, her website. Our apologies, a cloud provider that is part of our website infrastructure is experiencing an outage that is preventing you from accessing our website. We have been assured that as soon as the outage is fixed, our website will be back online. Thank you for your patience while we wait for this very unusual situation to be rectified. And I'm thinking, what? I mean, I try not to be conspiratorial with everything, but I see that and I think, huh? okay, the website just goes down when we're having all this shortage stuff. And she gets into it. You can see here 2 cups of raw cow milk or organic whole milk yogurt, 1 7/8 cups of filtered water, 1/4 cup liquid whey. She teaches you how to make whey. 4 tablespoons of lactose, quarter teaspoon of Bifidobacterium infantis, whatever, they're some kind of a healthy probiotic probably. But another thing, goat's milk baby formula, I've heard of that. There's different ways to do it. But this whole thing, everybody's panicking. Oh, what can we do? Oh no, what can we do? Um, I need to say a few things about this because I keep hearing this idiotic nonsense that there are some women that can't breastfeed. Now, there's a half truth to that because it's a nutritional issue. But to be a little blunt here, women have breasts. They're not to increase your looks or whatever else. That's their mammary glands to nurse a baby. That's normal. That's natural. Okay, if you go out in the field, not trying to compare women to cows or whatever, but you go out into a field and you see that cow has udders hanging down and that one does not. And he has horns up here. Well, you're not dealing with 2 cows, you're dealing with a cow and a bull. A woman has breasts for the purpose of breastfeeding. That's the whole deal. And of course, now you have people, getting into the whole thing of, worshiping bodies and whatever else. Well, there are some women that can't breastfeed. That is nonsense. Okay, now, having said that, any woman has the potential to breastfeed. Let me say that. Why then can certain women not breastfeed? Well, this right here, this website here about the risks of abortion, they get into it. You go down through here. It talks about, if women get an abortion, there's a lot of bad things that can happen. And they get into all these different things here, and they don't get into the one I was going to cover. But one of the things that they do talk about is breast cancer. And they say, well, the abortion people will say, no, this isn't true and whatever else. But I believe it's completely true. 40% risk increase of breast cancer. Now, let me explain something. I studied the thing of childbirthing very much in depth. Why? Well, if you've ever seen this video, Natural Free Birthing for Bible Believers, there's my son Oliver as a little boy, myself, my wife. We had a free birth at home, no midwife, no doctor, no anything. It was my wife, myself, the Lord, and I was the one that delivered my son. So I studied a lot about the thing of women being with child, the proper nutrition, birthing the child, what do you do when they come out, all the different stuff. Don't need to get into all of it. And one thing that I had noticed while I was studying, I read books on it and watched quite a few videos, read lots of articles and things. One thing I've noticed is when women stop their a normal being with child and delivering that child. I don't like to use the word pregnant. That's a modern term. It's you're with child is the Bible term. When women stop that natural process, it creates a lot of problems with the body. I was there. I saw the hormonal stuff my wife went through of, all the pain of contractions and everything else, and then the actual birthing and the whole thing. And then the child comes out, and then that feeling of just euphoria of, oh, wow, and everything else. And I delivered my son, took him out, wiped him down a little bit with a towel. He started crying. I handed him to my wife, and she put him right to her breast, and instantly he latched perfectly. Praise the Lord. And he started to nurse. No problem. And he never had a problem with nursing. So I have a major attitude towards this whole thing of some women can't nurse. But here's the problem, okay? Because there is a problem with some women. And I need to say this. When women get cesarean sections or when they get abortions, you're basically halting the body's natural process of the mammary glands are starting to get ready for the child to be born. The hormones are changing. Okay, it's time for the contractions. The baby comes out. Now you have the whole thing of, the placenta needs to come out, all the different stuff that goes on. The, mean, you have the water breaking beforehand, and all the different things that go into childbirthing, and all of a sudden you just stop that thing. And a woman's, I knew of a woman literally in the past that she said, as soon as I feel the contractions, they're putting me under, and I'm going to have the baby cut out. I'm not going through the pain. I just am not doing it. Well, you're stopping the natural process, is what you're doing. And then, oh, I'm having a hard time with nursing, whatever. You just stop the whole process. Abortion is terrible. I mean, it really stops the process. You killed the baby, murdered your own child. But these women, they'll do that stuff. They have cesarean sections, they have abortions. There's other toxic issues with their bodies. And then they try to actually be a mother and actually try to breastfeed. And then they say, oh, I can't do it. I don't know what's going on. Well, there's problems there. Okay. And, I think that it's something that God is judging a lot of these women. And, oh, now I can't do this and whatever else. Why would God allow this? Well, why did you kill your baby? Why didn't you go through with the whole, normal birthing and not have a cesarean section? The whole deal, and I know that there are some women that'll say, well, what about this? What about that? I get it. But the whole point is it's a natural process. And to have a child, I mean, you don't hear, hey, I just saw a mother deer and a fawn and she's really upset she can't find formula or something. No, the animals out in nature, they have babies and everything just fine. So, but whatever. But to tell my own story here, not the thing of me helping my wife birth our son and everything else and being there for her. And one of the problems my wife had was overactive letdown, is what it's called, where there's too much milk when she's nursing. And so what did we do? Oh, we went to the hospital and we, did it. No, what we did is it's just some herbal cures, increase some different things. And I think she was taking red raspberry leaf tea, which really helps, make the milk supply happen. And we said, no. And then I think it was oregano. It's been so many years ago. I don't remember the exact thing, but, I think it was oregano that she took and that slowed it down. And it was fine. Not a problem. So, but yeah, when I was a little baby, before I was born, actually, there were 3 children before me. My oldest brother, then my oldest sister, and then my next brother after that. And then I was born, the 4th child that was kept. There was actually another boy in there that was given away, but that's another story. But the first 3 children that my parents kept, those first 3 children were all bottle fed. And, because my mother was told by the doctors, and this is going back into the 1960s, she was told by the doctors that she was not able to breastfeed. Just not possible. You can't breastfeed. I'm sorry. There are some women that can't. She was told by the doctors. When she became with child with me, I was number 4. The next door neighbor at Peach Lane down in Ronks, Pennsylvania, the road that I grew up on, our next door neighbor, Jean Hendry was her name, and she was into natural health. And she told my mother, she said, that is nonsense. Of course you can breastfeed. And she was part of the La Leche League. And she said, come with me. I'm going to take you to some of these meetings and they'll show you how to do it and everything else. And she went, she was convinced, and she nursed me for, I think, 2 years, first 2 years of my life. So, and then she did the same thing with my sister. So you have a woman that had 4 children, or bottle fed 3 of them. Like I said, gave the one up, bottle fed 3 of them, told the whole time, you can't, breastfeed, got straightened out on me. And then my younger sister, she breastfed just fine. Or then I think I said she can't bottle feed. She couldn't breastfeed. But my point is, a lot of this stuff out there where doctors are saying, oh, you can't, breastfeed and whatever else, it's a lie. These people, they're all tied in. The doctors are tied in with all this money making stuff. And it just ticks me off. It really angers me. So you say, but are there any exceptions? Well, of course there are some exceptions. What if you have a mother that can't take care of the child, or the mother that dies or something, and then the grandparents have to take care of the baby? Well, obviously, the grandmother can't nurse the baby? What if you have a baby that's adopted or something like that? Well, of course, I get it. I understand. And again, that's what this is for. Find one that has good organic type ingredients and whatever else, and you can make your own formula. It's not a big deal. So I keep hearing this thing, people coming out with the news and saying, oh, there's some women that just can't breastfeed. Ah, man. That angers me. That really angers me, because people are just perpetuating this false medical establishment system. But I find it interesting. I'll share a verse of scripture here real quick. I found something with the Lord over the years, and that is a lot of times he'll send little warnings. It's not the actual prophecy being fulfilled, but it's kind of a little pre-prophecy, so to speak. It's kind of an interesting thing here. Matthew chapter 24, verse 19. And woe unto them that are with child. Notice it's not pregnant. With child. It's a child in there. It's not a fetus or whatever else that you can just abort if you don't like it. And to them that give suck in those days. Breastfeeding. Okay. Women didn't use bottles or baby formula in the Bible. Okay. Rather interesting there. It's funny because if you study the story of Moses, Pharaoh's daughter takes him in, but she hires a Hebrew woman to nurse him, which ends up being Moses' actual mother. But it's kind of an interesting thing there. So you would actually in the past, hey, I can't take care of this baby. Let me find a woman who is currently able to nurse children. Hey, could you please nurse this baby for me? They didn't say, oh, what can we do to find baby formula or something? So people start messing around with their health, and all of a sudden, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. I have all these issues. It's probably genetic. It's not genetic. So just a little rant on that thing. That's another one of those things that really angers me. But another little scripture tie-in thing here. Watch this. This is May 9th, 2022. Community of Rio Verde, foothills heads towards water cutoff in 6 months. A lot of areas down in Arizona and California as well are running out of water, which is really interesting. I'm not going to play the video, but this woman standing there, she's showing all this rainwater catchment, and she's saying about she's got 5,000 gallons of water in this one tank underneath the ground, and we get water shipments, once a week and everything. And I'm thinking, how much water do you really need? I mean, in our off-grid system here, we do not have running water. We have to go to a spring and get our water from a spring and haul it back and whatever. We don't use very much water. We use very little. And I think these people that are just using just huge amounts of water, all we need, 20,000 gallons of water a year or something. Just odd. But I find it interesting because there's a lot of evil stuff going on in Phoenix, Arizona, and different parts of California. So reading in our family devotions the other night, we were in Psalm 107. Where are we at here? Psalm 107, verse 33 and 34. Another kind of an indirect prophecy thing coming to pass. He turneth rivers into a wilderness, and the water springs into dry ground, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein. I know a couple different false ministries that are in Phoenix, Arizona. James White, Stephen Anderson. Just find that kind of an interesting thing. I guess they're maybe not in Phoenix. I think Anderson's in Tempe or whatever, but wherever he's at. But it's kind of an interesting thing that scripture is being fulfilled there. The people are wicked, and God's just going to dry things up. So found that to be rather interesting. So just a real quick video here, just to kind of cover 3 different little things there. But really looking forward to coming out here to the Bible Point. Looked really beautiful. I saw a guy did a video on YouTube, and it looked like a really neat spot. I'll just kind of zoom out here. Here's Bible Point over here, and there's the town of Patton where our office is at. So um, it's not very far away, but definitely a remote area back in there. Not a whole lot of people around or anything else. So looking forward to trying that out. Probably do a sermon over there or something. Been wanting to get back out, but we've been really busy with doing firewood and everything. So just been really busy. Um, but one other thing, I'll say this before I close out the live stream here. If you could just please pray for my wife. She's going through some difficulties with the computer thing. Couldn't figure out how to make it post, it's called, get the thing running and whatever. And went to a technician in the area, and he determined that the motherboard is shot. It's not a good one. So it's just the supply chain stuff right now is a problem. And then, so it's been taking us forever to try to find the parts. And she's putting all kinds of time into studying how to put this into there and how to plug that into there. And, and now we have to send things back to the manufacturer, for the motherboard. And so just please pray the Lord gives her strength to get through this whole thing. And so, uh, but anyhow, um, but I'm going to get going now. So um, I've been getting away from these live streams a little bit, but I'm going to start doing more of them, just kind of these little short things. I have some bigger studies coming up. I'd like to actually hear from people in the comment section. What do you think about the Sunday morning premiere video? I'm trying to do that as a way to get, that way people that don't have Bible buildings or whatever, they're used to seeing preaching or whatever on Sunday morning, they can tune in. I was doing a live stream, but the live stream was just getting to be a little bit too much, and there was issues with it and whatever. But I'm thinking I'd like to have, I used to, when I was down in Pennsylvania before we moved to Maine, I used to do a thing of I'd have a Sunday morning video every week. So I'm going to try to get back to that, and I'm probably just going to do a pre-recorded message that will be premiered on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. is probably what I'm going to do. And sometimes, like last week, I tuned into it, but I'm thinking about doing that on a weekly basis. Just release at least one video every week, Sunday morning. So give me your thoughts on that in the comments. I'd appreciate hearing from you. So that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching.